Everyone perceives FauxWheelDrive as a very small Piston Cup team. He was one of the last Piston Cup racers to be released for Cars 1. They never did a crew chief, never did a pitty, never did a hauler. They just then did his stock car from Cars 3 and then the next gen. Well, with all these customs I've able to accrue over the last like 5-6 years, we now have a big boy FauxWheelDrive Piston Cup team. This is a big boy team now. You got to put on your grown-up pants for this video, guys. This isn't a preschool stuff going on right now. I'm really excited to get into this video because literally every custom is from someone different, and it just makes for a very diverse, a very interesting team to talk about today. And so I know maybe this wasn't the next team to be suggested for the Piston Cup Team series, but I just got in the Pitty a couple days ago, and that just set me over the edge. I got this, you guys saw in the Giga Haul a couple weeks ago. You guys know I had the FauxWheelDrive hauler. You guys know I had the next gen FauxWheelDrive hauler. You know that I had this staff team pickup truck. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, we're going to get right into it. This is what, Piston Cup Teams episode 7, I think. Wow, I started this episodic series I think 3 years ago, right around the springtime of 2019. And yeah, maybe it's not so great. I've only done 7 episodes, but I think they're all really solid episodes, and I think it's best that I space them out, you know, to build up the hype and the anticipation and all that. So we're going to dive right in here. Let me just kind of set some of this stuff back a little bit because we're going to need all the space we can get. And we're going to go chronologically. So we're going to start with Johnny Blamer, of course. Now, he is the Cars 1 stock car for FauxWheelDrive, Team FauxWheelDrive. He was available in like a European promo, I believe, in like 2008, 2009 with like plastic tires and all that. Obviously, he was also in the Motor Speedway of the South, the 36 car set with Mac iCar, which is actually this version here, as you can see by the base coat and the super nice glossy paint. Like literally these cars feel way better than the regular releases. Like the paint is so smooth, and you could really only experience it in person and know what I'm talking about. But then the public was able to get him in 2010 when they did a rubber tire release of him exclusive to Kmart. They put him in a 3-pack as well with gaskets and Lightning McQueen exclusive to Kmart. So he was even a little bit more special. Him, gaskets, and Taco Man were like the last 3 Cars 1 Piston Cup racers to be released, so they're kind of grouped together. But then he kind of broke away from that mold, being re-released in 2017, very, very early in the year, you know, right before all the Cars 3 stuff came out. And that's when he was first released with like the flat eyelids and all that stuff. And of course, this is, you know, like I said, the Motor Speedway, the South version. So he has the raised eyelid version and plastic tires. So yeah, there are quite a few variations of him out there. I think almost every time they released him, it was different. You know, you had rubber tires, flat eyelids. Well, no, you had rubber tires, raised eyelids, and you had plastic tires, raised eyelids, plastic tires, flat eyelids. You had the Motor Speedway, the South glossy version. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff with him. And anyways, I'm going to toss a little picture of him on the screen there. Hopefully I found a good image of him. He's obviously a background character, so sometimes it's a little hard. Now, this is one of my favorite Piston Cup racers from Cars 1. I don't think he's one of my favorite sponsors, like as it grew, you know, to Cars 3, but I always liked, you know, Gaskets, Taco Man, and him because they were so elusive since they were the last 3 to be released, you know. I think that's just how it goes. Like Rip Klitsch Gonski, more desirable, Carbon Cyber, Bobby Road Testa, you know, who was the last next gen to be released? What was that? Like Jim Reverick. Like all those tend to be very favorable because like so much anticipation and hype was built up with them. But anyways, on the hood here, you can see FauxWheelDrive dirt decals for urban SUVs, just like off-road. Very cool. You can see like a little dirt patch with the tire tracks there for his logo. Very creative sponsor by Pixar. He's one of the few racers that doesn't have a grill mustache there. He has like a gunmetal gray rim color. There are his contingency sponsors. And he's got a very nice wilderness landscape painted on the side of him here. It starts all the way up, kind of at the front bumper here, and progresses back. You can see he's got, you know, the trees in the background, the mud, the dirt, kind of like a snowy glacier-like mountain in the background over here. Very nicely done. It's kind of done in like a cartoon way, and I mentioned that because as we get to Tommy Highbanks from Cars 3, his landscape is much more realistic. Like it's literally like taken like an actual picture. So it's kind of interesting to note that this is a more abstract cartoon rendering of a forest. But then you have for urban SUVs, four-wheel drive dirt decals again, 54. Nice little black shadow to it there, or like some depth. They put some tire tracks on the roof here. I like how they almost can be like connected with these ones almost. You kind of pretend like the car turned. I don't know. I like that detail. And he's got a little small four-wheel drive logo in the back. I love how they just kind of weave like the blue as like the sky, and they made that like a part of one of his colors. Same with the white and how that blends into the back. One of the most well thought out designs for a Piston Cup racer. Four-wheel drive, just like off-road. And again, you have kind of some more detailing here. You can see like the mud splashing up from the tires and a little bit more shrubbery. Just a beautiful design. I already showed you guys the base. 2777 EA means he was made on the 277th day of 2007 or 2007 at the EAA factory. Or I guess it was just the EA factory. Yeah, this is a beautiful car, one of my favorites. Probably top 5, maybe top 7 if I think about it. I think he probably would end up top 5 for Cars 1 stock cars. But yeah, like I said, we're going chronologically in terms of like Cars 1 to Cars 3. So that would bring us over to this Pitty. I would think, I'm pretty sure that this would be considered like Johnny Blamer's Pitty and not Tommy Highbanks. Now this custom, like I said, I just got it the other day. You'll see it in my Giga Haul Part 3. I'm not sure when that's coming out relative to this video, so you may have already seen that, or you might be seeing that after this. It's kind of fun either way. I totally forgot about him, so it's at the very, very end of that video. But anyways, yeah, this is done by, ironically, the customizer FauxWheelDrive 7. He's been around for a long time. I've reviewed a lot of his stuff on my channel, and yeah, it goes way, way back. I think one of the first things I did from him was the gaskets crew chief. So yeah, he does a lot of Piston Cup stuff. Obviously, I guess his favorite sponsor is FauxWheelDrive, so it's very, very fitting that he finally did a Pitty. Now, he used a Luke pedal work for the blue, and it's actually a great idea because, you know, everyone's trying to think of pre-existing car models, Pitties, crew chiefs, you know, whatever, haulers, in which you don't have to paint them as much, right? You know, it's already the color you need. And so this is great for, let me think of a good example. Like if you take the Paunchy Wipeout hauler for Cars 3, you know, the bumper safe hauler, that's a perfect color for Vuezine. And you just kind of have to have the vision for it. Like it's almost a perfect color. And so there's a lot of ones like that. The Wally hauler obviously works great as well because it's white, you know, very generic. So it worked well for FauxWheelDrive here. But yeah, FauxWheelDrive 7 had the vision to use a Luke pedal work because he was already like this blue color that almost nearly matches the same exact blue there on Johnny Blamer. So yeah, great job there. And then he just had to paint the hat green. And I have not seen many custom FauxWheelDrive Pitties out there in my lifetime. I've seen a few, and I think this is definitely one of the best ones I have seen. And obviously, well, of course it's the best. It's the only one that I've been able to get my hands on. And so he put a couple of FauxWheelDrive decals on the, you know, roof there and on the sides. Nicely done indeed. I'll try and leave some of the information for the customizers in the description below, but there's going to be, well, I guess there's only 2 because the other ones I don't really know. Well, we'll get to that. So yeah, here you have the Dynaco Toolbox that he put a FauxWheelDrive decal on. Again, looks great. And then he painted a tire stack silver. I'm a little confused why he actually did this though, to be honest with you. Like, I'm okay with it, but you know, clearly the colors don't really match there. I'm sure that, I don't know, I feel like just leaving it black would have probably been easier. I don't know, maybe you just wanted to make a silver one, but these honestly almost look more like the King, or maybe he didn't even paint them. No, he had to have painted them. Yeah, the King never came with silver rims like this because Mattel always screwed it up and gave him blue ones. Oh, so I guess he did have to paint this. Oh, well, whatever. Maybe he didn't have a color that quite matched that very dark gray on Johnny Blamer there. But yeah, there you go. There's the Pitty. Let me know what you guys think for a name for him in the comments below. Is this the Cars 1 crew chief or the Cars 3 one? It's very tough for me to tell. And so I'm going to go with my gut. I honestly think this might be the Cars 3 stock car. I don't remember what he looked like in the movie. And obviously in Cars 1, he wasn't even at the pit row. It was kind of like an animation glitch. Pixar only animated several of the pit crews. They didn't do all 36. So you know what? I'm just going to consider this Cars 1 because there's so much, you know, creative freedom there because he didn't actually appear in the movie. It could be whatever we want it to be, but who knows? I know the Cars 3, Tommy Highbanks' crew chief, this guy over here, his crew chief might have actually appeared for a brief second. I just don't remember what it was, if it was like a sedan or a pickup truck. So anyway, we're going to consider this Johnny Blamer's crew chief. I just got this from a friend of mine on Facebook. I don't think he's in the business of making customs, but I'm a big fan of it, and thank you. If you're watching, you know who you are. I got in a lot with a bunch of other customs that you'll see pop up in, you know, future videos as well. This is the first one. Of course, you guys already know, again, they showed up in my Giga haul, so you've seen the other customs as well. So you guys probably already know what's to come, but if not, you know, check out that video or just let yourself be surprised. But yeah, it's a nice custom here. You can see that he's got the FauxWheelDrive logo there on the hood. Now this is why I think it actually might be the Cars 3 version, because the logos match a little bit, like they're vertically driven instead of this one being like tilted, you know what I'm saying? This one also has a little bit more of like the mud splatter, kind of matches that mud splatter on Tommy a little bit more. But yeah, very nicely done. He gave him a nice expression looking off to the left there. Painted his bumper here silver. Put a couple 54 decals on his sides. Painted his rims black. Painted the bed black as well. And the back bumper silver. So yeah, lots of paint going on here, which is, yeah, it's tough. Like, it's tough to do a lot of painting, especially on plastic, and we all know that this whole part here is plastic. Metal, plastic, and that's kind of what they do for most Piston Cup crew chiefs, or Piston Cup, or pickups in general, rather. Whoa, big time zoom out there. But yeah, anyways, again, let me know what you think for a name for him. I think he's pretty cool. Definitely one of my favorites I got in that lot. Now, transitioning over to this guy, who's also kind of like a crew chief. He just doesn't have a headset. But yeah, I really do like this guy because he looks so good with the Pitty, you know, and the tool cart, because they kind of cater on more toward the blue spectrum of the FauxWheelDrive paint scheme. And I really do like this. You know, it's a factory custom, so not legit, and obviously I'm not going to shout out the customizer because I have no idea who it is, but yeah, it's a nice one. Again, you have the FauxWheelDrive text on the hood and then 54 on the side. So this one definitely matches more so Johnny Blamer, I would say. Very cool. This was one of the more recent ones they did, I think. They've done like several waves of these Piston Cup pickup trucks. And he was in definitely one of the more recent waves, I believe. Did I review him for like the 12 Days of Christmas? I might have actually, now that I think about it. All right. Moving on now to Tommy Highbanks here. Well, I guess I should go to the hauler, but we'll save the hauler for last because it's a bigger item. So yeah, I'll toss a little picture of Tommy Highbanks from the movie there if I can find it. Hopefully I do. Now, ironically, he was actually one of the first cars to be released, period, for Cars 3. He was in the very, very first case of singles for Cars 3 that debuted on May 1st in stores. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that he was one of the first. Such a random racer, you know, but he has not been released many times since then. I think he might have gotten a multi-pack release, and that is it. I think, yeah, Vietnam multi-pack. Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. He's in my background. He was in the Piston Cup Race 11 pack, I think, from like 2020 with like Chick Hicks with headset, Sheldon Shifter, JD McPillar, Speed Comet, Chris Roman, those guys. So yeah, kind of a weird release there, but yeah, kind of an underrated car. FauxWheelDrive dirt decals. A little comparison there. Now, I did obviously review Johnny Blamer in my Season 2 of Forlorn Favorites, so you guys can check that out. And I compare him to these other versions of the racers. So we're not going to go super in-depth here, but like I said, you can see that he has a much more realistic landscape here on the side. It's not as abstract nor as cartoonish, which kind of makes sense, you know, for the modern era. But he still does have some mud splats there. You can see bam, bam from the tires. He's got his contingency sponsors there. Now he's got all black rims. I like how the blue starts here and becomes the sky. 54, again, same type of deal on the roof. FauxWheelDrive dirt decals for urban SUVs. Trying to make yourself look tough. I went camping. I'm going to make you think that. I'm TJ Hummer. I don't want to go off-road. FauxWheelDrive dirt decals 54. He's got the little camera there to indicate or to film the track while he's racing. All the Cars 3 stock cars have that. Looks like mine has a little chip right there. I think I actually got this guy from China early because, like I said, he was one of the first release, so I was able to get him from an eBay seller from China a couple months before the stuff was actually released to the public. So yeah, that's why he's not perfect. You can see a couple little blemishes here and there. But yeah, really nice. I think he's a super underrated racer, but I'm just not a super big fan of his design. I think it's very similar. Like the color schemes are they're almost identical. And I like some of the more different ones. So, Rev Rodages, I think he's very different from Krusty Rotor in terms of like vinyl toupe branding and all that. But moving now on to the next gen Herb Curbler. Another one I'm a kind of, I don't know, mixed feelings on Herb Curbler. I think he's grown on me over the years now that we've taken a big break from him, but he was originally released in 2017, late that year, with and without this bonus collector card here, which are very nice. Like all these collector cards were super nice. You can see it's got the FauxWheelDrive logo there, tracks, extreme dirt decals. Now we've moved up to extreme dirt decals. Really trying to market themselves here. But yeah, these were really nice. I wish they did these again. Like that would be really cool. They should do another wave of them. But yeah, after he was released in 2017, he got I think a couple multi-pack releases maybe here and there. And then he was released in late 2019 as one of the first Blue Desert releases. And so that's when he got his Thailand variation, right? That's a very underrated release in my opinion. Like you don't see it many places. You don't see it talked about. But yeah, it's he does have a Thailand version, right? But he was one of the first to have it. So yeah, looking at him here up close. Just has two straight tread marks here. You can actually kind of feel the decal. FauxWheelDrive, again, extreme dirt decals. You can see how the branding has evolved over the years. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely modernized. There's no depth to the text anymore. It's just flat on the hood. You have like the blue crown around him, resembling the sky. A couple yellow patches there, black rims, next gen tires, contingency sponsors. He still has like the upsplash, and it kind of scrapes up the 54. Like that's kind of what they're going for there. A very rugged look. Gas cap, FauxWheelDrive. Black spoiler, FauxWheelDrive, more tire tracks. Of course, he has the rookie racing stripes there because he is a rookie, those yellow stripes. Very cool. Let's see about his date stamp here. 2128, so the 212th day of 2018. No. Is that right? Huh. This must be no, that can't possibly be right. Huh. This must be like a later run FauxWheelDrive because like I said, he was released in 2017. Huh, I don't know. I don't know which one this is. That's a little strange to me because I know I got him with the card there. Let's see what Mr. Tommy Highbanks is. Yeah, this one makes perfect sense. Exactly what I would expect it to be. 362nd day of 2016. So yeah, right before Cars 3 came out a couple months later. Wow. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I don't know where that Herb Curbler came from. Oh, another little interesting tidbit about Herb Curbler is that if you have the Meet the Cars book, you know that another car actually has the name Herb Curbler, and it is a tow truck, a Piston Cup tow truck. One that I would really, really like to have. So yeah, here we have this hauler. Now, the side view mirror is kind of coming loose here, so we're going to have to be careful. Yeah, just pushed it back in there. So yeah, let's see if I can detach these two. Please. All right, nice. So this is a Jim Scavenger Custom, like I said, one of his best. Did a few years ago, I think almost like four or 5 years ago now. So he painted a Wally semi here, green, even the hat. So that's a plastic part. That's very difficult to paint. So kudos to him for that. FauxWheelDrive decals all around. Even did the license plate and the mud flaps, which is awesome. Looks like that one's peeling a little bit. Let's see if I can get down. No, yeah, that's kind of a little peeler there. But yeah, FWD 54. Very nice that he did that. That's some phenomenal attention to detail. Cool stuff. Now moving on to the trailer. He had to create all these decals, I'm pretty much from scratch. So you gotta give him some big boy credit. If we could focus, that would be so nice. I'm just gonna zoom in here and hope for the best, I think. Yeah. FauxWheelDrive dirt decals for urban SUVs, just like off-road. And yeah, just some beautiful decals that match the side of Johnny Blamer, of course. So you can see how it kind of turns into like a glacier back here where it says Racing Team in 54. And then he even added a roof decal here for urban SUV, FauxWheelDrive, Racing Team. We don't know what the roof would actually look like, so that was creative freedom. And again, same type of decal here on the back. No license plate on this one. And then same decal on this side. And oh, he even put a decal right there, which is very cool. I think that's a great little touch. These obviously do open from either side, and you could yank this out and, you know, play around, but we're not going to do that because that's more of a review of the trailer itself, and we're here to review the custom part of it, which is, you know, the decals and the paint and all that stuff. All right, I think I got him attached. It didn't click in, but I think we're good. All right, we're going to set him back for a moment. Now, I did do a review of this next-gen FauxWheelDrive hauler a long time ago. I think I even put like a stop motion at the beginning of that video. I reviewed it along with the Sputter Stop next-gen hauler. So I'll hopefully link that in the description below. But either way, this is a big metal car. Like, this is a metal semi. Again, factory custom, so it just says made in China there. And this isn't based on like any Mattel semi exactly, because, you know, it's not the same size as like Gale Beaufort, playset or not. It's kind of its own size. It's not as big as the Disney Store Gale. So yeah, the factory customs were really creative with this. The factory customizers were. You know, they add some nice stickers to them. Piston Cup there, even though it doesn't really fully read Piston Cup like you think it does, but not really. 54 looks good though. And you might wonder why all these are in like the shape of an S or like Storm, Jackson Storm's logo. So I guess whatever they did end up using was some sort of derivative of Gale, even though it wasn't exactly, you know, the same size as any versions of Gale. Because you'll see that S on every single one they did. On this side, this is probably their best, you know, work here, because it has a great interpretation of Herb's 54 decal. Even put his name on it. This is plastic though, by the way. They even put a couple stickers there on the top. Now it's funny, they did several of these. I think they did like 6 or 7. And yet they never did any more. By the way, these are the hardest things to open. You have to get like your fingernail in between that and that. This is where I like break the table because like I have so much downward momentum. Or I rip my fingernail off. All right, let me just talk to you guys for a little bit. So yeah, they didn't do any more after the initial batch, which is kind of surprising to me because I think they were pretty successful. You know, I think they're very nicely done for a factory custom. You can see you have like a mammoth amount of space in there. You could probably fit your whole collection there. I probably can't, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a nice factory custom. Tons of wheels down here as well. Now, maybe they didn't sell super well. Maybe they were costly to produce because the prices never really went down on these. They always hovered around like $40 each, and they still do. I think you could still find like one listing on eBay that has them for sale. But it would be nice to see some more, because every once in a while, like I said, they do more of those Piston Cup trucks. So maybe they could do more of the haulers as well. But yeah, guys, that is the whole team. I'm surprised it actually only took 25 minutes to do this video. I was thinking it would be longer, but I think it was my first try recording it, so really exciting. Let me know, who is your favorite member of the team? I have a little recency bias right now, so I really like the Pitty. I really like the crew chief back here. But yeah, Johnny would probably be my favorite, like, you know, all things considered. But yeah, everything's a really nice piece. Here, let's toss Herb in there. He deserves a little attention. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for another Piston Cup Teams episode. Bye now.